Hello Wando and Beckham students, my name is Anders Ingleby, and for this episode of ECSN, we are going to highlight some of our favorite pieces from the past couple of months. We reflect on everything from Wando's homecoming to Beckham's vet science program. It's March 2nd, 2022, and this week's ECSN Best Of episode starts right now.
Let's do this.
Welcome to our first ECSN Best Of episode. Between August and now March, there have been many notable events at Wando, Beckham, and at the CAS. The beginning of the year brought many students to in-person learning for the first time since early 2020 because of the COVID-19 pandemic. While returning to a glimpse of normality, COVID still affected a lot of staple high school events, one of which was homecoming. In late September, Wando was not able to hold their homecoming dance, but that didn't stop the homecoming football game. Ella Canner covered the game in which they also crowned this year's homecoming royalty in our show from October 13th.
What's up, Wando? I'm Ella Canner with a new edition of Tribe Talk. Let's take a look back at homecoming week. Wando students dressed up for music-themed week in everything from all denim to neon. The seniors won Spirit Week by dressing up the most. Homecoming week was capped off by the homecoming game Friday night. During the game, the entire homecoming court was recognized. There were 12 people on the court, and at halftime, Femiak and Jovi and Bella Weddington were crowned homecoming king and queen.
It was just fun. I hadn't actually been to a football game since freshman year, so just actually being at the game was just fun. It was just a good night.
Like I said, it's just like a crown. It's like what I told everybody when I posted on my Snapchat story, it's like a together win, because without them and the people that helped me with the video, it would have been done without them.
I was just kind of like, oh, that was my name. Because like when I was getting ready, I was like, you're not gonna win, and it's cool that you were on court. And then I won, and I was like, oh, that was my name. Cool.
Homecoming might be behind us, but Wando still has a lot coming up. The Fall Orchestra concert is tomorrow in the Performing Arts Center, and in just a couple weeks, you can catch Murder Medium Rare, Wando's student-directed show. The show debuts on October 29th. That's all for this edition of Tribe Talk. Until next time, I'm Ella Canner reporting for ECSN.
Homecoming was a great way to kick off the school year and highlight some really awesome seniors. Wando also has an organization called the Special Blend Cafe that showcases students' abilities to learn work-based skills. Take a look at how one classroom at Wando transforms into a business each morning.
If you stop by room B129 in the morning, you'll see a classroom that turned into a cafe.
I'm the job coach here, and one of the things that I do is I work with our students to give them those job skills that they don't have, whether they're hard skills and soft skills.
The cafe is called the Special Blend Cafe, and it is run by students with exceptional needs. Ms. DeWitt says it helps students learn how to work a real-life job.
They learn how to be on time, they learn how to talk to customers and work as a team. We're there to just help them learn how to service the customer and also to help them be able to communicate to us, because they have to look at us as their employer.
And when the program works, Ms. DeWitt says that it gives these kids a real chance to go out into the world and support themselves.
We had a student years ago by the name of, Toby used to be in here, and then he worked with Project Search after that, and we helped them with the interviewing process. Now he's working at the Naval Base. So he's actually holding a job now, because all of our students, they're capable of working. So that's why that is the most important thing for us, to make sure we give them those skills so that when they transition out of high school, they're able to be great in society and hold down jobs and be able to advocate for themselves.
Ms. DeWitt says the cafe hasn't been very busy lately, and she wants to change that so students can get more experience.
Before COVID happened, we were really, really busy. We would have lines out the door. Right now, we are competing with the cafeteria because now breakfast is free for our students. It doesn't matter if we're busy or not. We will always be open so that they can continue to get the experience of being on the job.
So, if you ever forget breakfast or need an extra pick-me-up in the morning, the Special Blend Cafe will always be open. Reporting for ECSN, I'm Katie Miller.
Special Blend is still open from 8 to 8:20 every morning, so make sure to stop by for a quick and convenient drink or treat. So many Wando students have different kinds of talents. Just last month, I had the opportunity to talk to Lucas Barker, a Wando sophomore who had a role in the new film adaptation of the Shakespeare classic, The Tragedy of Macbeth. Lucas Barker may seem like your average Wando sophomore, but when he is not in school, he spends a majority of his time acting, starring in everything from Criminal Minds to Netflix's Ratched to skits on Jimmy Kimmel Live. Barker has an impressive lineup for an actor his age. One of his most notable roles is also his most recent, in which he plays Fleance in Joel Coen's film adaptation of Shakespeare's Macbeth, The Tragedy of Macbeth. After its initial theatrical release in December, Barker garnered the attention of fellow classmates after an article was published to Wando's website congratulating him.
A couple of my friends from robotics over here found out, and they were like mind blown, and I guess that makes sense. But in LA, where I previously lived, the school I went to was almost entirely actors.
Lucas moved from Los Angeles to Charleston around a year ago because of the pandemic, but that didn't stop him from landing the role in Macbeth. Filming movies in the age of coronavirus did add some complications. The production stopped for several months, but Coen set up the film to be shot in only 36 days and on sound stages to combat those issues when they returned to filming.
And we were the first movie back on the Warner Brothers lot to go back after COVID, which was kind of interesting because there was no one there. And days before we actually went onto the set, we had to do 2 tests a day. And every day we were on set, we had to do a test. And obviously there was tons of protocols and social distancing and masks. It was very safe. They did a really good job making it safe.
The shortened production time wasn't the only thing that created stress for Barker. Working alongside big names such as Denzel Washington, Frances McDormand, and Alex Hassel also was a nerve-wracking experience.
I'm just trying not to freak out. I'm trying to keep my cool around everyone, kind of act like I've been in the business for as long as them. They were really welcoming to me. I mean, they treated me as if we've been working together for ages.
But they haven't been working together for ages, because Barker is just a kid, and he was reminded of that fact every day when Hollywood made him go to school.
So what's great about being on set is that you actually are required to do 3 hours of school a day. And we have a studio teacher. So in LA, I was able to get a majority of my work done, but it's a lot of work keeping on top of all of it.
While tackling schoolwork of his own, it also crossed his mind that someday high school students who read Macbeth may end up watching his movie in class.
It's crazy to think that like students in the future could be watching this film, could be seeing this new take on it, which and I think is actually going to be really good for education because it's really closely adapted to the original.
His film might be shown in classrooms someday, but for now, Lucas is walking the halls like every other Wando student. Until his next big role, you can watch Lucas Barker in The Tragedy of Macbeth right now on Apple TV+. This has been Anders Ingleby reporting for ECSN. Congratulations to Lucas and everyone else who worked on the film for its 3 Oscar nominations. If you want to watch the Oscar-nominated movie, The Tragedy of Macbeth is still streaming exclusively on Apple TV+. Over at Beckham this year, we at ECSN were able to cover some great stories surrounding their sports department and their unique courses. One of these courses is the Veterinary Science Program, and in our September 29th show, Amelia Chico, James Dempsey Gantenbein, and myself took a look at a litter of puppies this class was fostering.
In this classroom, every day is Bring Your Dog to Work Day. It's a class called Veterinary Science, and it's taught at Beckham by Miss McCarroll.
Hands-on, very much learning experience. We usually have foster animals that come into the room, and they're usually sick, and so by making them better, we get to see how animals are treated on the medical side of things.
Madeline Kaylane is a junior at Lucy Beckham. She's already completed the course, but she's stuck around the program as a teaching assistant because she says it's an important class.
My experience was amazing. Mrs. McCarroll is the world's best teacher, and being around animals and being able to care for them and being able to help them and rehabilitate them is a experience I wish everyone could have.
It's an experience several Beckham students have a chance to gain. But many times that experience is born out of tragic circumstances.
We have a foster litter in here right now. They were a bag of puppies that was thrown in a trash bag and found on the side of the road. It's really a big deal for me to get education out there on how to properly handle animals. And even if it's something as simple as, I don't want these animals, what's the best way to find someone that will take care of them instead of throwing them in a trash bag on the side of the road.
Mrs. McCarroll is using the course as a way to teach her students the importance of animal care.
I also learned, how valuable being able to care for an animal is and how much an animal's life really can impact yours.
While the cuteness may steal the spotlight, puppies are not the only animals that veterinary science students learn how to care for.
We also focus in the agriculture unit on the larger animals. So we had a goat in here last week. We learn about chickens. We learn a little bit about horses and cows.
Even if you are not currently enrolled in the program, there are many other ways to become involved.
I have kids that come in here that are having a bad day that I don't even teach, and they just come and pet something for a little while, and then they feel better. So it also helps with anxiety and depression. I mean, there's a million reasons why this class is awesome and why the students love it so much.
The educational and also therapeutic benefits are prime reasons why Mrs. McCarroll and all her students think the program is so important. Reporting for ECSN, I'm James Dempsey Gantenbein.
While the vet science program helps students learn about animal care, the Beckham Bengals made history in late September with their very first varsity football game. Caesar Enquist covered this in the Bengal Beat of our October 13th episode.
History was made at Lucy Beckham High School on September 30th. The Bengals weren't supposed to have a varsity football team until next year, but holes in the Bengals JV schedule changed that. South Carolina High School League gave Lucy Beckham permission to fill those holes with official varsity opponents, which led to the JV team to take the role of varsity due to the lack of upperclassmen. On Thursday, September 30th, Bamberg Earhart came to Mount Pleasant to take on the Bengals for the first varsity football game in Lucy Beckham's history. The students packed the house for a Jersey-themed football game under the Thursday night lights. The Bengals lost the game 24-7 Thursday night, but students were excited they got to see an actual varsity football game.
We didn't get the result that we needed tonight or wanted tonight, but it's work in progress, and we're going to work our way up towards being the best. So that's work in progress right there.
Before we head out, we'd like to give a shout out to Ellie Romine for being named Beckham Student of the Month and to Miss Chabot for being Staff Member of the Month for September. Reporting for Bengal Beat, I'm Caesar Enquist.
Even though the Bengals didn't win their very first varsity games, they have many chances to next season. In December, back here at the ECCAS, the school hosted a Toys for Tots charity event to celebrate the holidays. After all the toys were collected, Rob Fowler visited our school to thank us for the donations. Katie Miller and myself were able to get a word with him after the event.
Hey y'all, today at the East Cooper CAS, we got a quick word with Miss Leland and Rob Fowler about the Toys for Tots program. Rob Fowler came to the CAS Thursday to pick up several donations for Toys for Tots, and he was very thankful to the generosity of the CAS community.
We have a slogan, it's called One Toy Can Make a Difference. And these toys behind us, you just made a big difference, because some of the kids who are going to receive these toys thought that they were getting nothing for Christmas.
Most of these donations would not have been possible without CAS teacher Miss Leland, who networked and got the word out, and then several gifts poured in.
I put it out to all of my classes, and then we decided to make a wish list, so I had them set up the wish list. And then I went home and put it on Facebook, and all of a sudden I just had a massive amount of boxes showing up at my front door.
And what this also does, not just for the kids, bring smiles to the kids' faces, but the adults. Because unfortunately, some adults have a decision to make. Do I pay the power bill? Do I put food on the table? Or do I buy toys for my kids for Christmas?
Rob Fowler has been collecting gifts for Toys for Tots for about 35 years. He says it never gets old and you never realize how many people your donations can help. Reporting for ECSN, I'm Katie Miller.
Fowler was a treat to talk to, and it's amazing that our students and staff were able to help out Toys for Tots. That's it for today's episode. We hope you enjoyed looking back at some of the events and stories of this school year so far. We'll be back to our regular show on March 16th. If you like the show and want to be a part of it, scan the code on your screen to complete the application. Our show is produced at the CAS during third block, so consider that as you apply. Once you applied, make sure to register for Media Technology and Class Choice. If you want to learn more about our show, stop by room L118 and talk with Mr. Fabiano. We'll see you next time. I'm Anders Ingleby, signing off for ECSN. In December, back here at the ECCAS, the school hosted a Toys for Tots charity event to celebrate the holidays. After all the toys were collected, Rob Fowler visited our school to thank us for the donations. Katie Miller and myself were able to get a word with him after the event.
Hey y'all, today at the East Cooper CAS, we got a quick word with Miss Leland and Rob Fowler about the Toys for Tots program. Rob Fowler came to the CAS Thursday to pick up several donations for Toys for Tots, and he was very thankful to the generosity of the CAS community.
We have a slogan, it's called "One Toy Can Make a Difference." And these toys behind us, you just made a big difference, because some of the kids who are going to receive these toys thought that they were getting nothing for Christmas.
Most of these donations would not have been possible without CAS teacher Miss Leland, who networked and got the word out, and then several gifts poured in.
I put it out to all of my classes, and then we decided to make a wish list, so I had them set up the wish list. And then I went home and put it on Facebook, and all of a sudden I just had a massive amount of boxes showing up at my front door.
And what this also does, not just for the kids, bring smiles to the kids' faces, but the adults. Because unfortunately, some adults have a decision to make. Do I pay the power bill? Do I put food on the table? Or do I buy toys for my kids for Christmas?
Rob Fowler has been collecting gifts for Toys for Tots for about 35 years. He says it never gets old and you never realize how many people your donations can help. Reporting for ECSN, I'm Katie Miller.
Fowler was a treat to talk to, and it's amazing that our students and staff were able to help out Toys for Tots. That's it for today's episode. We hope you enjoyed looking back at some of the events and stories of this school year so far. We'll be back to our regular show on March 16th. If you like this show and want to be a part of it, scan the code on your screen to complete the application. Our show is produced at the CAS during third block, so consider that as you apply. Once you've applied, make sure to register for Media Technology and Class Choice. If you want to learn more about our show, stop by room L118 and we'll talk. I apologize.